How's it going, everybody? It's Carlos, one of your hosts of the Bring on the Blitz podcast. We are back with a brand new season, and I'm here joined with the good old-fashioned cast. We got the one and only Rios.
It's good to be back. It's almost my favorite time of year when all the sports are on at the same time: baseball, basketball, and football.
Yep.
Time to be alive. To ruin your mental health.
And we got the one and only Poppy in the house. How's it going, Poppy?
Great to be back, man. Great to be back.
The enthusiasm that you carry radiates over the
man. I'm just
screen.
like Rio said. I'm just looking forward to my Texans and Rockets because these Astros got me blue, man. They got me feeling real blue. So I need my Texans to start out hot, and I can't wait for basketball either. So
There you go.
good to be back though. It's like Rio says. We're starting to ramp up, getting back into the groove of everything. So.
And hopefully the temperatures continue to drop because I can't take any more of this 160.
Marico, demasiado calor en este piazo. Sometimes I hate this city, man. I love this city. Sometimes I hate this city. It's too freaking hot all the time.
Every time I see 90 on the radar, I'm thinking, yep, add another 15, 20 degrees out there with humidity.
Yeah.
Like, I just want a day where I can go to work and not come home sticky and sweaty. I don't.
Good luck.
You ever get like you've been stuck in traffic for an hour and then you get off, like you get out of your car and you have that seatbelt sweat.
Seatbelt sweat?
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. Like just across your chest and you're like, dude.
Seatbelt sweat. It's stuck. All right. So guess what? We are debuting our new intro. We have a new song thanks to the very talented Mark Drew, who designed this song for us. It has our names on it, Carlos, Papi, and Rios, which is great. And then, of course, we got some footage from this training camp by the very talented Kane McKinney, who's a videographer for our Esquina. So enjoy the 30-second intro. Hope you guys like it. Hit it.
Tell them bring on the blitz, tuning in my dogs on this. Fourth down and flick of the wrist, and we go for the wrist. Jumping and racing they fist. With Carlos and Poppy and Rio say bring on the blitz. Tuning in my dogs on this. Fourth down and flick of the wrist, and we go for the wrist. Jumping and racing they fist. With Carlos and Poppy and Rio say bring on the blitz.
There you go. I liked it. It gets me hyped for the season.
I can tell my mom, hey, I've made it, mama. I'm in a rap song.
I'm in a song that we paid to get in there. Man, all right. So when I saw that video, we shot that one at training camp, and I say we, I mean like our friend Kane did it, but it was at training camp, and he got some great footage. That was I want to say day 4 of training camp when. We started seeing like, okay, what is the teams, what is looking like. Obviously you don't see everything at training camp, you just see a few glimpses. I mean, there are times that Rios and I have gone and unfortunately whatever sometimes we saw at training camp, that's what was put on the field as well. So to recap really quick, the Texans this week, and I was at the game, I was happy to see go back and I got to interview Bryce Young as well. That was pretty fun. They played against the Panthers and in a dominant preseason victory, 20-3. There was I know that, how do you call it? They were I guess the Panthers are trying to see the progression of Bryce Young. Dave Canales there, they talked a lot about basically finding a leadership in the team and just finding a spark. And there's talent on the team, of course, but finding a little spark on the team. So when I saw that, Bryce went in for like 2 series only. They were supposed to do 3, but Dave Canales mentioned in the press conference that they did how do you call it? They were supposed to be 3, but they did 2 only because how do you call it? He liked what he saw at the joint practice with the Texans, and that's why they pulled him early. Sure. I'm not a coach.
I was there, and like you were impressed by what you saw, sir. Like
and again, this is what he saw. What he said. I'm sorry, at the press conference. So, there's a lot to say. I mean, honestly, you can put it however you want. The Texans defense, even if it was preseason, showed a lot of glimpses of what they're
top
going to
five
do.
defense, dude.
Yeah,
Top five defense.
It's a top defense. Like there is not the one thing I've seen consistent from training camp, from the days at training camp, and I think you Rios when you went to training camp too. I saw a very strong defense. So they made Bryce Young run around. He was 0 for 2, and he rushed for 2 yards.
I mean, they were like the swarm mentality. It's continued. It's basically since day one of training camp. You saw it all the training camp. You've seen it in the preseason so far. Like that defense is going to swarm, and it's going to be even higher intensity when the regular season starts.
Yeah, we saw this coming last year. Last year, the defense was the silver lining into like what ended up being a somewhat underwhelming season, and we knew that coming into training camp, coming into preseason, and hopefully starting week 1, like this defense, we knew it had the potential to be top 5, and so far it's been looking like it. Like the secondary has like gotten it together. The D line's strong. Will Anderson's going to lead that line. Like I'm just loving everything I'm seeing from the defense right now.
Yeah,
and they're strong. They're a strong unit,
and there's a lot of depth as well. Like you see with the second unit in practice and in the preseason games, like there's no fall off almost in the terms of like talent and like
quality. Yeah, like the consistency is going to be the biggest thing, right? Like we need the next man up. Like can they be consistent enough, right? But with the players we got right now, like going into week 1, man, I'm feeling confident. The biggest question marks for me still in the offense. That's the biggest thing, right?
Offense, yeah. We'll get into the offense really quick. Defensively, really. We'll just do defense first. Defense. I mean, you got your guys. Will Anderson returning for year 2. Apologize. Danielle Hunter returning for year 2. Will Anderson going to year 3. I mean, that is a dual threat right there. And then not only that, you got guys, dark horse guys like Mario Edwards, along the defensive end line DT attack. Like they've been phenomenal, dude. That bull rush mentality, as you said, Rios earlier, the swarm mentality. Like you see these guys nonstop run, and that's something that before D'Amico the Texans were missing. They were missing like a hustle. They were missing that mentality, that identity. And I mean, Rios, if you remember, like years ago, back in the 2012 when Wade Phillips was running that defense, that's what you saw. You saw that mentality. I mean, they didn't label it, right? But they called it the Bulls on Parade, right? And that's what you see now. You saw glimpses when Romeo Cornell was there for like a season, and then after that, it kind of just started.
I mean, you saw shades of it with Lovie Smith as well. I mean, the offense was bottom 30, but that defense was like a top 10 unit.
Bottom 30.
That offense was abysmal by every possible metric.
By every metric, yeah, definitely.
But the defense, they kept them in games. Like they lost 7 one-score games. Mind you, if they had somewhat competent quarterback play during that period, they would have.
That was such a hard season to watch.
Yeah, it was a difficult season to gauge because like it felt like they were trying to tank, but at the same time, like they were still like competitive and in games. Like they didn't get blown out very often. Like I said, they had 7 one-score losses before they drafted CJ Stroud. 7 one-score losses.
Yeah,
just a little going in a different direction. They have a different future.
And we've seen players like JJ Watt speak on how well this defense has looked and how it might be able to bring the city something that the people in his time couldn't do it. Like we know defense wins championships. We know that. We've seen it time and time again.
Just this past season with the
you can just watch it. Last season we'll answer all the questions you need. So I am feeling so confident with this defense and this Texans. Like if we could just hang our hat on that side of the ball, and we just got to figure out the offense. Like I am feeling pretty good.
I want to give you guys a quote that D'Amico Ryan said after the Carolina game at the presser, and they asked him what he saw after watching the film from Saturday against the Carolina. I'm sorry, this was after the presser. It was Monday. On Monday, what he saw after watching the film from Saturday against Carolina. And he said, after going back and reviewing the game, what really stood out is how we played complementary football. We played physical brand of football. We played the type of ball that I like to see us play. We were physical. We were flying around. Guys were having fun. The game and having fun in the game, and that's what I like to see. So as you can see, it literally just comes from the top, and it transfers over to the players really well. You can tell the players really respect that. I saw a video. I don't know if you guys saw it. I think it was a safeties coach that was practicing with the safeties. He put on the full pads and he was practicing getting tackled.
Yeah,
you saw that
on the mat. I'm like, and the players they love that. Like, hey, coach is putting his body in the line. Like, they feed into that because it shows like they're all in.
Did you see? Everybody was doing the tackle, but the one that really, I mean, I'm sure that it's not that the other ones weren't, but you see, Jalen Petrie really dug into it. It had a little bit of fire underneath that one.
I'm like, oh,
just for making me run, coach.
I remember what you said in our last film session.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mentioned Mario Edwards. He was one of the guys that got the sack on Bryce Young for an 8-yard loss this preseason game. And Coach D'Amico Ryan said Mario Edwards has looked more comfortable with what we're asking him to do. I think second year in the scheme, he's done a really nice job of just playing more consistent. He's just doing what's asked of him, not trying to do too much and be a flashy player, splash player. He's making plays consistently, and just by doing the things right away, he's playing physical. He's playing stout versus the run, not just an explosive penetrator, but he's doing a great job versus double teams as well. He's had a really nice camp, really solid camp, and he's put himself in a really good spot to have a great year. Let me ask you guys this. This reminds me this reminds me of I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of the player, but do you guys think that Mario Edwards will eventually turn into one of those players that the Texans are going to have to debate whether they renew the contract or not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, oh, we don't want to like the Texans don't want to lose him to Cincinnati or something like that,
I hope so. I think they were in the same scenario this past offseason because he was free agent. They're like, do we bring him back? But before his suspension, he showed real flashes when he was playing in a complimentary role. And year two in the same scheme, can build upon that. And again, there's no real household names at the nose tackle position right now. So it's basically anyone's job to win it. And he's a veteran. Like, he's been in the NFL for 10 years, and he knows what it takes to try to make the roster, earn playing time, and he's showing these younger guys, hey, this is what it means to be a professional.
Yeah, you got to put your body on the line, and the way this scheme has worked, and the way D'Amico has implemented all his tactics defensively, which we know he would coming in. Some of our biggest issues defensively before, minus the secondary, was we couldn't get to the quarterback. We were giving them way too much time to slice and dice our defense apart. That we're having guys like that in this scheme putting pressure on the quarterback. I know Bryce Young is still, trying to figure stuff out, but it's good to see that our guys out there, they're still doing what they're supposed to do, buying into this defensive scheme and putting their body on the line, man, and just showing out for the team as a whole. I'm loving all of this. Yeah. I don't think there's a single part of the defense where I'm like, you know what? I think this is our biggest flaw here. Even on the weakest positions, you could argue there's still good competition there to find like Rio said, there's not a huge drop in quality.
Yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to nitpick, you can maybe say the middle of the defense, the linebacking core. You can, if you want to, you
could nitpick about championship teams the same way, right? But the way the scheme works, if we can get to the quarterback, then we don't have to worry about that part of the field all that much, right? So, I'm loving this from D'Amico and the team and everything.
Another guy that I want to talk about real quick is Rios was talking about depth a little earlier. A guy that kind of had a little highlight this past weekend as well. I want to talk about Damon Arnett. D'Amico. This is what head coach D'Amico said. Damon Arnett has been very thankful of the opportunity to be able to return to the NFL. We're grateful to have him and give him that opportunity. I think all we need is that next chance to be able to give him that. He's taken it and he's ran with it. He's done some really nice things for us, not only in the game, taking the football away, but also in practice. He's gotten better and getting back into the flow of things that are on his level. He has the physical tools needed to play cornerback on this level. He just needs to keep improving on the technique and the small fundamental things we're asking him to do. But he's really done a nice job. Pleased where he is. I think he's one of those guys that also that you can trust depth, right? Guys that you can trust. You put somebody out real quick, give him a little quick break. He's a guy that you feel like he's a little bit more reliable to be put in that position in the corner position and kind of move him around. Kind of like, do you guys remember last season when they used to put in like Jeff Okudah? That wasn't the case. That was
no, that was you kind of
that was like we're out of options. Like
it's basically it was one step away from pointing at a fan in the stands. Hey, you look tall. Come out here and play corner. Go out there and throw CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, so I've seen some good stuff on Damon Arnett. I think if you see it on the intro, he catches an interception from one of the backup quarterbacks as well. So
I mean, he was
during training camp.
He was one of those signings that was little controversial during the offseason, but it's essentially what the Texans have done the last few seasons: low risk, high reward players, and this feels like the same type of player that Cassier targets. So, very very low risk. No, not a huge contract, a 1-year deal, but if he pans out, it could be a high reward.
He can serve a purpose and beyond from what we're asking right now.
I think he's going to be one of those guys that during a game, if he makes it in the 53-man roster, like you'll be like, okay, you got Damon Arnett covering, X receiver or whatever, and suddenly like he makes a play, and you're like, oh, there you go, that's it. That's going to be the reaction that we see sometime this season if he makes it in the roster.
Yeah, he can have the same type of impact as say like a Steven Nelson did a few years ago when he was signed. Basically he was a journeyman player, but
do you see that quality? Like if you were to compare those two, do you see that kind of quality like to that point with Steven Nelson?
It's a possibility because both of them were journeymen, but he really solidified himself as a not to say one of the top corners, but he was a very solid cornerback in the NFL for his tenure here in Houston. Yeah,
there you go. All right. Now I feel like we of course we talked a little bit about Petrie, how the intensity when he was tackling his coach. I mean, I want to see a really big year from Petrie this season. One of the better tacklers out there. I think again last season when they put him near the line of scrimmage as that hybrid safety linebacker. I think that was a position that before the injury, like I think that was a position that he started honing into a little bit because if you remember the season prior to that,
he would be asked. Yeah, he would be asked to cover like a lot of ground, and he doesn't have the legs for that.
Right, and it's like, who do you cover? But once they put him there,
it's more like in your face. He will see ball, get ball kind of stuff.
His basically what his role at Baylor was, being an in the box safety. And I think that's what suits his skill set. And we saw it translate last season before he got injured.
Yeah. And I mean, he was killing it, to be honest with you. I think he was honing in on it. And I think that's where like, okay, this is your position. This is your natural position that you belong in. Okay. And then of course, Derek Stingley is just shining. What is there to say about Derek Stingley, the Pro Bowler? He's continuing to make plays. I can see Derek Stingley just continuing, barring any injuries, just continuing to ball out. He maybe even having a much better season than last. I don't see anything.
Very high praises. He was last season.
Yes, exactly.
First team. It's just continuing, taking that next step to being like the upper echelon of like shutdown corners that we've seen 3 years past. The Darrell Reeveses, what was his name? Nnamdi. He played for the Raiders. He was one of the top shutdown corners for the Eagles, but like you see years after years, like these shutdown corners, and I think he's entering that conversation where like Reeves Island, you just don't throw his side of the field.
You don't.
Yeah.
He's getting to that point at this stage of his career.
100%. I agree. That I can't see, like I said, barring any injuries. Hopefully everything's fine this season.
This is what year 4?
5.
Year 5.
Yeah, 5 for Sting. So he's at his prime. This is prime year for Sting. I'm looking at also, speaking of the Eagles, CJ Gardner, like that was. I'm glad that it wasn't a major like season-ending thing. I understand he's probably going to miss some time, but still, I think that's better. And bring him back slowly as opposed to just rushing him out of there. I'm not a doctor, but I'm assuming that would be the best thing. Yeah. And so
PhD in the background. What do you mean?
You see that PhD? Yeah. Crawford Bach. PhD in Crawford Bach Brewing. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Your hate degree.
Yeah. And so there were some he was in the sidelines kind of like practicing a little bit, just trying to get that movement, which is good signs for anything like that. So that's going to be definitely an addition. Once he starts joining back in the defense, that's going to be a heck of an addition for the Texans. I think that's Kalen Bullock. I mean, Kalen Bullock, I feel like this is the upwards year for him. Kalen Bullock and Kamari Lassiter. I mean,
both of those guys last year, they were pretty solid, and I want them to take a big step this year.
100%.
I feel like this secondary has like the whole defense has the potential to be a top 5, maybe even top 3 defense in the league.
I mean, they were a top 5 defense last year, and I think they can maintain that and possibly improve upon that. Because it's year 2 of the scheme and made some additions on both sides of the ball. Like it's something. We had mentioned, on previous episodes, the window for this team is essentially CJ's rookie contract.
Yeah,
and this is we're going into year 3. Like that window is getting really, really small.
And all over the media, they're starting to talk about the Texans more and more and more.
Yeah.
Even with CJ's second year slump, everybody's talking about this defense and how scary it is. So if we can just figure out everything else, which we know the potential is there offensively with everything else, like this defense can really carry us through some of those ugly, like middle of the season games where you're on the road, you need a win, you're fighting for the division, you don't want to end up in the wild card, like you want to be up there with the big boys, get the bye week.
Right. No, I mean, I think as far as the national perspective goes, you saw
a little bit last year.
I think what really caught people's attention was that game against the Lions, which, thanks to Netflix, we got to relive again.
Please don't bring that up.
Yeah. No, but I think because it was a primetime game and the whole world was like, man, this Texas defense is legit. They got 5 interceptions. They're surely going to win this game.
Oh, dude, I was so pissed off.
That was wild.
Yeah. And then you saw it again in the playoffs when they, beat the brakes off the Chargers. Like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
And the Chargers were the favorites as the road team. Because, I mean, with all due respect, the Texans have been playing below expectations to that point. So, I can understand most of the pundits picking the Chargers to win on the road, but that defense, I think it took a little personally. Like, no, that ain't going to happen. Yeah. And they were still in the game against the Chiefs. Another, primetime game.
Yeah, it didn't end up our way, but it definitely could have gone our way if some things would have happened. But a lot of this defense, like you said, the national media, they know what this defense is capable, and like you said, we're only getting better. And with Amico at the helm, we knew that it was going to get to this point. It's just a matter of everything else.
So I want to transition now over to the offensive side of the ball. I'm going to start off with one of the concerns that happened last year that was the biggest issue, the offensive line. So this is what D'Amico had to say about Ariante Ursary gaining some momentum at left tackle despite possibly switching to right. Honestly, he's been killing it at that left tackle position. So
not just his skill set, but his mentality.
Yeah, that mentality.
I think it was Jonathan Alexander from the Chronicle. He had wrote something that the perception among the fan base last season was that the offensive line was a bunch of pretty boys. And I mean, those guys didn't do themselves any favors with some of their Instagram posts, but there's his whole mentality is so different because he in the article he had wrote that he had texted CJ the day he was drafted, like, hey man, I'm willing to die for you.
Yeah.
That's I mean, dude's ready to put his body in the line for his quarterback. And that's the mentality you need for your offensive line.
That's what you need, bro. You're literally in the trenches. You can't be thinking about Instagram posts in the trenches. You're at war.
You're posting your cleats and stuff like that.
Yeah, you are out there nobody, almost nobody puts their body on the line like the offensive line. You're in all
there.
Well, most teams, the line last year, we saw multiple instances where there was scuffles when CJ was getting pushed around and there was no one near him. O-line's supposed to be his bodyguards out there. Like
you could even see that on that first preseason game where we're decided to give him the offensive line the benefit of the doubt for now, but you can see it on that first snap when CJ got the ball, like he's still like almost like expecting to get hit rather than like looking for the play to make. And it's gotten better over the last few games, but it's just like one of those things where like he's still on that like I'm out here fighting for my life type of mode.
PTSD thing, yeah.
A little shell shock, basically.
Yeah, shell shock. That's the word.
You see it. You see. Well, when I was at the training camp, you kind of saw it a little bit because he wasn't used to having that much time to operate.
Right. I know, and I feel like that kind of set him back a little bit, right? Like we need to get him back into that groove, like that where he had his rookie year, where he was not afraid. He was not afraid to make a play, right?
From what I saw during the training camp, I think they are really like with the offense is very similar to what the Rams kind of run.
Yeah,
because Stafford and CJ, they have similar skill sets. I mean, Matthew Stafford has one of the strongest arms in the NFL, but they have similar skill sets outside of that. But they focus a lot on the short game, quick passing game, and working the middle of the field. And you saw it during the joint practices, and you've seen it the last 2 preseason games.
Yeah. One thing, so going back to Ursary, this is what D'Amico said. He obviously has pretty high praise of him. He says, I think Ursary in the game, Ironte Ursary in the game did a really good job where he was at left tackle. That's the focus. Wherever you line up, do your best with where you are. I really don't worry about guys having to move around. When you're called upon, you can go out and execute what's being asked of you, and you can do it at a consistently high level with high energy, high passion. He's shown that over these first 2 preseason games. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like he's going to stay at left tackle.
Yeah,
just for that alone.
Not seeing the training, because when I was at the joint practice, he was lined up at left tackle, but like from the national, not the local punting guys, like the local beat writers, they're all saying the same thing. Like it feels like Ursay's going to be the left tackle, even though they paid Cam all this money. Like it's getting outperformed by the rookie because again, it's the mindset. Like he is out there, like he really takes his role to heart. Like it's my job to protect my quarterback's blind side. I'm gonna do that.
Okay, let me give you a D'Amico quote on Cam Robinson. You ready? We approach it one day at a time.
I'm not ready. Start over.
Yeah. He says, we approach it one day at a time, one player at a time. We'll mix it. We'll mix the guys up. Throw them in there. We'll see how Cam Robinson does as he works his way back this week. I'm just happy that he'll be back. That's one of the things about injuries. You never know. You never know with everyone when it's your last snap, when a guy goes down on the field. It's always a sensitive topic with the injuries and how hard it is for all of our guys and what they go through as players. I'm happy to have Cam back on the field. However our lineup looks, it'll shape itself out.
Correct. Yes. Like
he's going to be a very expensive backup.
Listen, you never really know, right? Like if without any major injuries, the best guy will start.
Yeah. Right. They've shown that, and they've shown also they know the sense of urgency as far as the window closing.
The window, yeah. So they're not afraid. They're not going to be afraid to sit somebody down if they're not performing.
Because we've seen it throughout this, training camp and OTAs. Like, if guys aren't performing, they don't get to go practice with the ones. They're practicing with the 2s and the 3s.
Yeah.
And with some of the offseason moves that have made so far, like you see, like, hey, we're not going to wait on anybody. Like, you either perform now or we'll find somebody that will.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. But yeah, the way it's shaping up, I can see, how do you call it? Ursary just staying in the left tackle position. One thing that I saw is that 14-yard pass during the game against Carolina. There was a pass that CJ had. It was a 14-yard pass to Jalen Higgins, right? It was a nice little pass, but the best part that I liked about that pass is the fact that he had time to throw. He had some time.
I can actually diagnose defense.
But it was a well executed play. If you compare it to some of the plays from last season, it was very well executed. It like everybody was in sync. Everybody knew exactly where to go. That to me was one of the much better plays that they did, even though they were only out there for a few series as well.
Right.
That to me was a well executed play from the offense, and CJ having some time as well to throw and actually pick out his options as opposed to just trying to run around. Yeah, there was some running around as well, but I honestly think that Popovich here now with taking care of the offensive line, I don't know. There's some confidence about him. There's like a little swagger about him every time he speaks. Maybe he's just a great talker, but the guy gives you that confidence. You know what? I think the offensive line is going to be in a much better shape than they were last year, just based on what he says, right? But honestly, you saw some of that on the field. Again, CJ just having that ability to kind of throw it, gain a 14-yard gain right there near close to the like in close to the end zone. So I thought he put him in a good position. And I think the play itself was really well executed and well play, you know.
If you think about it from last year, a lot of those games could have gone a completely different direction if only CJ would have had like an extra 2-3 seconds.
Correct.
To throw the ball.
An extra second, honestly.
And then like you said, like compared to last year, this offensive line is in a much better place. It had to be. It had to be because last year was so abysmal that the only way you could go was up.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not always about, you know, the name and the talent level. It's
correct.
About
like
mentality.
we had one of the most highest paid offensive lines last year, and it didn't look like it. So this season, like I know it's still preseason, so like yes, it was a nice play. Can we hit that play consistently against consistent defenses who are actually actively trying to get to a quarterback? That's still yet to see. But as the season goes on and CJ gets more used to having that time and the O-line gets more used to, like, you know, putting their bodies on the line, making sure that we can let the plays develop, I can definitely see this Texans offense improving. I forget, what were we last year for as far as offense? Where were we ranked?
It was lower teens as far as
it was like the lower half of the league for sure.
It was below the league average. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, below league average. So I have a feeling like if we can be a top 5 defense and a top 10 offense at the very least, because I feel like the potential is there to be top 5 in both, top 3 in at least defense. This team can really turn it around. Like we're talking about the window that's shutting down. Like I'm not saying that this year
22.
is it. 22, yeah, that was horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm not sounding like a Cowboys fan and say, oh, this is our year. I don't think so. I think we're still like maybe at least 1 year away from really making a push. But this year we can definitely go like not just top of the division, but like convincingly so. Like we could win like 13, 14 games if everything starts to click.
Now I will say, like Carlos mentioned earlier in the episode, what we would see in training camp would translate to the preseason and the actual season. So what I've seen from the offense compared to last season's training camp, it looks so much crisper.
Yes.
They focus more on, like, again, CJ's strengths, getting the ball out quickly, letting him control the offense.
Yes.
CJ himself said it in a press conference, not too long ago, that he really wasn't allowed to make changes at the line. Like he was basically.
Did we talk about that? Didn't we talk about that? Like, feels like CJ doesn't have any command. We talked about that last season.
He came out and said it himself not too long ago. It's like, basically, Bobby will call the plays and we run what he wanted. Because there was one instance where, like, it appears CJ had made an audible at the last second without, getting the okay from Slowick, and the play was successful. But like they asked him afterwards, like, I don't think Bobby will like that. And you hear it a year later, like, hey, I wasn't allowed to make changes at the line. I had to basically run what he wanted to run, and we saw the results. 22nd ranked offense.
So I will to back up your point on that one. One thing that I do want to add to that is now, though, when they used to say, people used to say because people suspected that last season until it was actually confirmed. Like people would say, let CJ cook. So now since he has the ability to actually call on some plays, this is where I think like this is going to be. You'll see some of that improvisation that CJ may have, under his sleeve. That may be used that could help extend some plays, maybe extend some of those 3rd and long plays or whatever. I think you're going to see some of that
some of that creativity, some of that playmaking that we know what he has.
Like, I'll give you an example. The Chargers game. If you go back to that Chargers game, that improvised play, you can't tell me difference.
Oh yeah, that like 30-yard
game. There's no way that
the O-line collapsed in like half a second. Yeah.
Well, because at Ohio State, he said it himself. Like Ryan Day gave him the freedom to change plays at the line because he trusted his quarterback.
It's about giving him the green light. Like that's why the quarterback is the hardest position in the game, or even in sports to play, because it's so demanding. And when a guy with his talent, with his physicality, athleticism, and IQ comes in, you give that man the keys, brother.
Unless your name is Bobby Slow. Nah, I got this.
So right before
sit down, I'll figure it out.
I got this. Trust me. Trust me, bro.
I'm an expert.
All right. Before we start wrapping it up, before we start wrapping it up, this is as of today's joint practice with the Detroit Lions. D'Amico said, with our offensive line, what I saw guys still playing physical up front. We were able to break some runs. Nick Chubb, Woody Marks, Jahar Jordan, all the backs were able to break a few runs. It starts up front. Those guys play physical. Got a hat on that finish. The tackles did a good job on the edge, really handling the twist of the games. Proud of our guys, and that the communication is of picking up blitzes. There you go. Anytime that you do a joint practice, you'll see different types of blitzes, different types of pressure and adjustments. So I think when you're able to handle that really well and allow your rules to work for you, you see the sound of you see how sound the protections are. You see how sound we are when we play with a great technique. It works. So we just have to continue to lean into what we're doing, lean into what's being coached, and do it the right way every single time, and we'll be really good up front. So it sounded like it was a pretty successful joint practice.
No, we lost him. He's gone.
I was like, oh, wow.
Well, that has been first episode of season 2, guys.
Did you hear me?
No, we lost.
Did I cut off?
Yeah.
Well, oh wow, okay.
You were just in the middle of saying something, and then you just went like,
You look like you were choking on the hot dog.
Oh wow. Wow.
Crazy.
Well, anyway,
Crazy
so
work.
yeah, so that was interesting. So that's episode 1 of season 2. No, but basically to sum it up, it's like D'Amico just basically gave kudos up front for the front line for being able to break runs for Nick Chubb, Woody Marks, Jahar Jordan, basically the running backs, and that's something I'm looking forward to. I know Joe Mixon is going to be out for quite some time still. TBD when his return will happen, but it looks like Nick Chubb was doing pretty decently carrying the load on the offense. So that's pretty good news.
Like he plays much better than he practices. Not saying he's a bad practice. Like during the training camp, like they didn't look all impressive. Like to the casual person, they look all that impressive. But you see him during the preseason, like
those first few drives he had on, he went for those yards. He can
be such a physical back at times that like you know like during the game he's really gonna bring it.
And like I said in the previous episodes, 80% of Nick Chubb is better than a lot of starting running backs in the NFL right now.
That's true. That is very true.
8,000%.
Very true. All right, y'all. Man, I appreciate y'all for coming out for season 2. I'm looking forward to this season and doing more shows with you guys. We'll come back next week, and that'll be it for this week. See y'all next time. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel below at BBlitzPod. Of course, follow our Instagram account at BBlitzPod as well, and of course, follow us on X at BBlitzPod. That's going to be it for us. And you know what? I'm going to use our intro as our outro again because I just can't stop listening to that banger. So let them know. See y'all next week. Peace.
Tell them bring on the blitz. 20 of my dogs on miss. Fourth down and flick of the wrist. And we go for the wrist. Jumping and racing and fist. We'll call us and Poppy and Rio.